Hey, welcome to Blue Jay Banner, special edition today. And joining us is the one and only Jeff Vanderloo, Director of Basketball Operations at Creighton, who just retired. And we're going to talk to him about everything that happened while he was at Creighton. There was a lot of good stuff. And first, I got to ask you, Lou, how are you finding retirement?
Well, retirement's been phenomenal so far. I mean, that's everybody tells you, oh, you're going to get bored. This is going to happen. I'm just telling you, it hasn't happened yet. I'm not telling you it's not gonna, but there's been no boredom yet.
I can 3 years in, I'm busier now than I was before when I was working. I seriously, I just feel like, I thought I'd just have days on end to just sit around and veg. And no, there's something going on all the time,
Right.
So,
And I don't know if it's because I'm up here at Okoboji right now and have been most of the summer. I don't know if it's because I'm up here and there's always things going on. And when the weather gets bad, it's going to change. But it's been pretty phenomenal so far.
Yeah, well, when the weather gets bad and starts snowing, see, they have a thing called the TV, and you just flick on. There's 9 million games on every night, and you'll just sit.
All right. so my job won't have changed.
No. Hey, so I thought we would, start way off in the beginning because you came to Creighton, but maybe there's people out there, big Jays fans, that didn't really know the phenomenal career you had before you came to Creighton. So just start out with your career in Sioux City, and we'll move it back from there.
Well, I guess to go back and talk about Sioux City, it's a phenomenal place. It's where I grew up for the most part. I love it up there. I've got my whole family still lives up there. My mom's still there, so it's been great to me. I did some assistant coaching for Tommy Goodman, for my father, who was the head coach for about 15 years, I think, up there, and became the head coach at Sergeant Bluff for 1 year. Went over to East. I was the head coach there for 21 years, and had a lot of good runs. I think we made it to the state tournament. I'm not even positive on this. I'm just going to say 8 times. We won it in 2002 with a name that a lot of you probably know, Ben Jacobson, that played at UNI, was a good player there. I had Adam Woodbury there when I left, and he was a good player at Iowa. So came down to Omaha in 2012. I guess up in Sioux City, I coached a bunch of other sports. I was coached football, varsity football for 10 years. I was the golf coach for 10 years. I coached girls softball for 4 years. Coached track for 10, 12 years. So really got a wide diversity of sports, but really enjoyed it up there. Really enjoyed my time, the people, everything was phenomenal up there. So then I came down to Omaha in 12, like I said, and that was Doug McDermott's second year. And yeah, I said Doug, not Greg. And we had a pretty good run there for a while, and
No kidding.
It's been great.
I'm old now, and I can't remember what I did yesterday, but when I think back to Valley, there's like 5 or 6 guys, Colt Ryan guy, you just remember. Ben Jacobson was a guy that I remember. I mean, he was phenomenal. My goodness. How early on did you know you had a guy like that there?
Oh, when he was in junior high, he was pretty special. He was a little bit weak then and didn't shoot it great, of which some people will tell you he never did shoot it great, but the boy's a winner.
I don't know about that.
But if you let him get to his spots, he was pretty phenomenal, and he's also really into winning basketball games. Yeah. So that's I still keep in pretty good touch with him, and all of our trips out to Vegas. He lives out in Vegas, so he comes by most all of our games out there, and we still keep in touch all the time.
Oh, dang. I'd like to see him. I saw P. Allen last time, so
yeah, I saw him also.
Yeah, I mean, that was a phenomenal run, 2002, and you won the state championship with him. So you got kind of a taste of, what you would see on the flip side at Creighton of coaches coming in recruiting, right?
Yeah, no doubt. I was very lucky to be a part. I think we sent 33, 36 guys on to play college basketball in my years there. So I dealt with a lot of college coaches, and that's actually how I first got to know Mac. He was at Wayne and came into Sioux City a lot and was recruiting our guys, and a few things like that. So it's been a good run.
So how did the job at Creighton come about, and what was your decision process with that? Was it easy?
I don't know if it was easy. I was certainly looking maybe to get into the college business, but he was actually, Mac and I were golfing down in Arizona together, and this job came open. It was Eric Crawford had left, and he's like, "You're going to do this job," and I was like, "I don't know. I got the best team I ever had coming back with Adam Woodbury and a couple 6'9" guys, and we were pretty good." And he's like, "No, you're going to do it. Figure out what you need to come and all this." And I went and took a nap, and he came back, said he talked to Rass, so let's get her going. So I said, "Well, I better call my wife first," and so I called my wife, and he said, "Just come down on Monday and take a look, and we'll see where we're at." And so I did, and down there on Monday, and it's pretty much been Omaha since then.
How much input did the wife have?
Oh, the wife was certainly excited about it. She's as both of us were. Things went real well for us in Sioux City, and we had a lot of good teams and stuff. So, my one brother was my assistant coach. My other brother was the coach at Sioux City North. My other brother was the principal at Sioux City West. My dad was the athletic director at Sioux City East. So there was, I had a good support group up there, and so it was kind of stepping away from all that was a real interesting time, but it was it ended up working out phenomenal.
So when you came down to Creighton, what was your first? I mean, you'd probably been down there before, but what was your first impressions?
Well, we were still in the old gym there. I
Yeah.
guess my first impression was I didn't have to teach school anymore. So I was coaching and working on basketball all day long, which that was actually a really good thing.
Yeah. So you were director of basketball operations. Some people don't know what that entails. Just briefly talk about what Max said. All right, here's your job. Here's what you're going to do.
Yeah, it was kind of, I guess the first thing is that was also John McHugh's first year. And so John McHugh, Brian Kawinga, Tyler Glidden, those guys all kind of really helped that process along. And they're probably actually more familiar with it than I was. And, that took care of it at the time. It took care of a lot of the travel. Um, and where we stayed at on the road, things like that, and it's kind of developed. I kind of started phasing out of that a little bit, and towards the end I was pretty much phased out all the way, and John McHugh was doing
Right.
all that, but Brian Quing and Tyler Glidden also were real helpful in that whole deal.
Well, first of all, God bless you for dealing with McHugh and Coinga at the same time.
Those are good dudes, man.
Coinga actually sits one row over from me at the games.
Okay.
Yeah, I know him. I used to work with him, so I knew him a long time. Okay, I'm always intrigued by the whole, like, back, as you know, I ran a golf tournament, and I'm just always striving for perfection of the event, So something was a little off, like, this, that. I'm assuming that had to be nerve-wracking, that first road trip you took when you were DOB and you went somewhere, and, God, is a bus here, is a hotel ready for us, all that kind of things. How did you go through that process?
Well, it certainly was, and like I said, at that time I had Brian Coinga and John McHugh as a manager, so everything went pretty well. I believe it was to UAB, and actually on the way back there, something happened to our plane, and so we ended up in a hangar for a long time waiting. But I don't remember all the specifics of that, but those guys really they took care of a lot of that. I took care of a little bit of the hotels, and it ended up being a good team play.
Now, I'm sure the beginning, you're in the valley, so it's a little bit easier because you've gone to these valley cities forever. You know the lay of the land. They're not that big. How much did it, like that first year in the Big East, how much of a task was that?
That was kind of crazy. We had no idea. None of us had really spent a lot of time in New York or anything. So, Butch, Mark Burgers, and me and Patty Gallus went out to New York. They just sent us out there to try to figure things out and figure out a good place, figure out good hotels, and um, try to keep the price reasonable. Which everything went well, but the price reasonable doesn't work real well out there.
What was the toughest Big East city you had to, where you felt like, oh man, this one's always a tough to get the right hotel, get everything lined up? What was the toughest one?
Well, yeah, actually, Chicago was kind of always interesting when they were out at when they were way out.
Horizon.
But since when they were out at Rosemount Horizon, but since they moved downtown, you can stay right there. It's attached to the.
Yeah.
It's actually went from probably one of the worst setups to the best setups. It's the setup they have for the games, and you can walk right to the game and things is second to none.
Yeah, I mean, the only good thing about the Horizon was you were close. If you flew out of O'Hare, you're right there. But that
Right.
was the only thing.
Right.
You know? I just all right. We're talking with retired director of basketball operations Jeff Vanderloo. We had a little technical problem, but we're going to roll on here. Yeah. So what was what was the one? I think we were talking about the one place that maybe something happened at the Big East that would just throw a wrench into your plans.
Yeah, two different times we were out of Providence and we got stranded out there. So it was that always created real interesting. And the pilots we were flying private, and so they would tell us we're going to try to go home today, but if we can't, we're going to try to go home tomorrow. If we can't, we're going to go home the next day, and end up being out there for a few different days. And it was certainly a trying time as you're trying to find practice places and things like that. And the Providence people were exceptional trying to help us, and John McHugh's from out that area, so he kind of also was knew some people, so it ended up always working out real well.
Oh, great. What how was the first time that you played in the Big East tournament? What kind of experience was that?
It was super cool. It was one of those deals. You always wanted to go to Madison Square Garden, and even I remember Mac going, "Damn, Lou, we're here at Madison Square Garden," and I think now we've played 30, 34, 36, somewhere in their games through our years. So it's been great. Madison Square Garden's incredible, and at that time we were staying at the hotel across the street, so it was we just had to basically walk across the street to play. And, the best thing was we had good teams, and so we won. We've won a lot of games there. So it was. I think that first year we ended up getting beat in the championship, and that was pretty electric.
People ask me about it. There's two things. One, I don't know if you had a chance. I hope you did. I'm sure you did at some point. The concourse around where they had the pictures of all these. That's a phenomenal display.
Yeah, they have that also down underneath by our locker rooms. They got a bunch of those too. It's so cool.
Yeah, that's cool. And number two, people ask me, what's it like? I got to go in, you go in there, and if you match up like the capacity with other places, it's not much, it just looks so much bigger.
It does. It's a really huge and really nice place now. Washington D.C. also has that same feel, but there's
Nobody there.
5,000 people there, so it doesn't give you the same feel. It looks kind of the same.
Yeah. The last time I was there, our press area was kind of up. So we walked up there. I don't know if you've been up. There's an inner circle that goes all the way around.
Yeah.
Have you been?
Yeah,
that's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. You turn around and the people in the upper deck are right behind you.
Yes.
And they're looking below you.
Mm-hmm.
It's now when we looked over the edge, we said, wow, this would be phenomenal for hockey, because you would be right on top of the action, But that was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in any arena. Like it's really cool. I mean,
right. Oh, that's why it's the world's greatest arena.
So, a lot of great memories. Okay. Like, I don't know how when you sit down and think about it and sort them out, like, can you pick three? Like, you just went, man, this was just the most phenomenal game, situation, whatever.
Hmm. I guess when I look back, my favorite game, probably because um, it was incredible, was Doug's last game. That one to me kind of sticks out. And then I guess if I had to say another game, I would probably say the night we won the conference championship. There, I remember we came down, and I believe it was Damian Jefferson dunked one, and
Yes. Yes.
I believe I was sitting next to Huss, and I said, "There ain't nobody beating us here tonight, man. This place is crazy," and it was it was incredible. It was
Uh,
those two home games really stick out for me.
well, then, DJ got under Mamu's skin, and then it was over because then he
And
was,
yeah,
a head case the rest of the game.
yeah, that was fun.
And,
That was fun. It's one I
and
still remember.
you know what's crazy about that game? I mean, you look at the final score. I remember a point where they took the lead like 54-53, and I think wasn't Pollard guard then? Yeah.
Uh huh.
He was going off. I just thought, oh, we had our chance to kind of pull that lead out, and now they've come, and this is going to be, I was just,
Yep.
uh, uh, you know, and then we went on that terrific run. I mean, it was crazy,
Yep.
crazy run.
No, that was that's one I'm sure I'll never forget. And then playing in the Elite Eight there to go, and um, we'll just leave it at that.
Um, you mentioned Doug, just phenomenal. I tell people like he, I mean, forget about his basketball talents, okay? His mental side of things, like he was the most. I mean, you just knew he was going to go off that last day, right? The the
Yeah, I
story,
mean,
the story I tell people is the Valley tournament. We were playing Illinois State. Illinois State
mhm.
upset Wichita. We were planning to play Wichita, right? And they upset them, and it was going to overtime. And I'm sitting at the presser, and in the Valley, they had us right down the bottom. It was great.
Right.
Doug just walks over, looks at me, and goes, "We ain't losing this game." Like, just like,
Right.
and that's just the way he was.
Right, no doubt, and and his teammates relied on him, and he provided every single night. It was we seen every sort of defense that we could see. We seen box and ones. We seen double teams, everything, and it was the stuff that he went through those last couple of years was incredible. That he was able to produce just night in and night out.
Some of the Valley games too. I remember the one in Bradley where he just kept coming across that high screen at the free throw line and just
Yep,
just play after play,
yep.
play. And
That was pretty. When you put him and Ethan Rogge up there at the top, that creates a lot of problems for people. How you're going to guard that?
hey, speaking of that, so the Villanova game, everybody talks about, even nationally, people talk about that.
Mhm.
What was it like?
Oh, that was incredible. The again, that what a lot of people probably don't realize or remember is that after we put on that incredible show there to start the game, they came back. I think that they might even went ahead.
I don't think they went ahead, but they came back.
They came all the way back, and then we went on another run. And I remember
Yeah.
Jahans was a big part of that, and we had a lot of good luck playing out there at Villanova over the years. I probably of all the places that for as good a teams as Villanova had, we really had a lot of good luck playing there.
Yeah, and if you don't remember, we were on a road trip. We lost the first game, so they were like,
Yeah, we lost. We
great.
lost to Providence. That
Now
was
we're
our
going to
first.
start out
Yeah.
0-2. This is going to
Yep.
be horrible. And Villanova was at the top of their game,
Yep.
and I remember I forget who I was watching the game with. We went on that first round. They go, this game ain't over. They're going to come back. And then when they did, they go, see, I told you they're going to come back. Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. It wasn't all a 20-point blowout from the get go. It was
No doubt.
crazy. What do you think was one of the like? If you get a one or two on the other side of it, crushing losses that just pained you?
Well, I don't even know if this was a loss, but probably one of the biggest crushing things that happened to but I thought was when Maurice Watson got hurt at Xavier.
Oh, yeah.
That team was phenomenal, and offensively they could do things that nobody else could do. And when he got hurt, it just kind of took our spirit away a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's certainly something that sticks with me when people ask me that. Um, I mean, there's been a lot of like actual losses and games we shouldn't have lost, or however that may be. But that's one thing that always sticks with me is where could have that team win if that wouldn't have happened?
Yeah, a lot of people ask that, and oddly enough, we won that game. We ended up winning
Yes,
Xavier game, which and
and
Xavier was
and
right
I
at the top of the league.
believe, am I right that Sumner got hurt also in that game for Xavier
I
and
think
was unable
so.
to come back?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that was crazy. And that was our
Yep.
then later on in the year was our first real run-in with Bobby Hurley or Danny
Yeah.
Hurley, I mean. Yeah.
But yeah, that team was they offensively they were so good. They were just fun. Like you walked into an arena and you were going, you guys might beat us, but it's going to take a pretty damn good team to beat us. I can tell you that right now.
And yeah, I would say the most electric because
Yeah.
that lob
To
to
JP.
Justin, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that and it would, people would get on the edge of their seats when Mo got to the top of the key and it looked like he was going to drive. They knew it was
Yeah.
coming, and it was
Yep.
like it was just
And you could
something
you
so
could just throw it anywhere and he could go get it. It was, and then you got Marcus and Taz standing out there with Cole Huff. It was that was a good team.
yeah. All right, so you retired. What was behind that? Just Mac leaving? You felt it was the right time.
Yeah, I was probably retiring whether Mac did or not. I was going to retire actually last year, and um, it's just the long days, the long wintertime hours, and all that just kind of gets to you, and it's you needed to recharge the batteries a little bit. But it's been great, and my time at Creighton was phenomenal. I enjoyed all 15 years. I worked with tons and tons of great people. As you can tell in Mac's tree, I keep in touch with all those dudes all the
Mhm.
time. So it's the guys that I got to work with, the players I got to coach, the administration, all of that was great. So I don't have looking back on my 15 years, it's been nothing but positives.
Now you sat on the bench with Coach Huss, and I think from a national perspective, they're just like, "Wow, do you think he can keep it going?" And I keep telling it like, you don't know Coach Huss if you just think he wants to just status quo. That's not
Right.
him, right? Am I right on that?
Yeah. No, no, Coach Huss has got a good edge to him.
And what were your thoughts like being with him and over the last couple years?
Oh, I mean, I was with him, I guess, his first time when he was here. Um, God, what was he here? Was he here 5 years, 7 years,
Yeah,
maybe?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I the I actually he was staying at my house when Mac was talking to Ohio State, and he had just moved to town that day, and he's going, "What is going on?" I'll never forget that. So, but Coach Huss is a good guy, and he'll certainly bring some things that I'm. He'll bring good talent in. He's very connected in that world, and he knows basketball. He'll
Yeah.
he'll
Oh,
he'll
he does
he'll
know
he'll do great.
basketball, and
Yeah, I mean
he's
that we wouldn't have the success we've had without Coach Huss. So he's been great. He's a good fun guy to work with, and we've had tons of great times. I got nothing but respect for Coach Huss.
yeah. And, yeah, I mean, I keep telling people I've been to quite a few workouts and practices, and, there's a lot of talent on the team this year, and
Mhm.
I see a lot of Mac in Huss, I mean,
Yeah.
there's the way he runs things and,
Right. Well,
um,
Mac's been so successful doing what he's doing. You don't want to change a lot. You want to put your footprint or your
yeah,
handprints all on it and make sure that it's your team and everybody understands. But there's no reason to change things that have been working pretty well. We are going to change the defense. It sounds like a little bit, and
yeah.
so we'll see how that works.
Yeah,
And
that's been very impressive so far.
yeah, and I think it will be. It's kind of got a little more of a niche to it, a little less of a scouting report to it, but it's I let me tell you, we've played against it a bunch, and I've seen it work.
Yeah, yeah. Mac was at one practice, and then Huss, every practice Huss feels like it
Mhm.
didn't go well.
Yeah,
Al, it's fine. Like,
yeah. Mac's certainly a lot more user friendly, probably a little bit
yeah,
more, but Coach Huss will get out of him what he needs to get out of him. There's no doubt about that.
yeah. He walked over to Mac, and Mac goes, Well, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, hey, you know what? You've been great to me, Lou. You've helped me out so much, many different ways. One thing pops in my head is the my golf tournament. You were always able to get stuff for me. I don't know. I don't think I've really shared this, but the number of probably of all the people that talk to me about bracketology, you've probably talked to me about it the most. And it was a lot of fun discussing with you. You would always, poke me a little bit. And actually, when Huss was introduced, Mac was sitting right over by me, and he came over, and I said, you've treated me better than I deserve, I'm sure. I go, except for the time you yelled at me about my bracketology. And Lou, if you don't think that I know that you put him up to that, I know you did. So don't even start with me.
Well, Tim, I'd talk to you, and then I'd go back, and Mac would say, "What's he saying?" I said this. He's like, "No way, no way." I said, "Well, you can go talk to him about it then." So
that was
I mean, we lived that world. So it was a lot of good times.
It was so funny because he comes storming down the sideline, and I'm sitting next to McHugh, and I thought, oh, John's probably in trouble, or there's something going on. And all of a sudden he comes at me, and I just started laughing because I'm like, hey, coach, I don't pick the teams. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you what I know.
Yep.
But anyway, thanks so much, Lou. I'm glad you're having a great time on vacation. You'll be back in Omaha some point.
Yep.
And we'll chat then. So thanks so much. Enjoy the rest of the summer. Boy, July flew by, didn't it?
It really did. It really did. We're already here to August, and kids are going back to school here soon, and then things slow down up here, and that's when I enjoy it the most, probably.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Lou. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate you, Tim. Thank you much.
You bet. Bye.